the gathering. Hello, Gideon. Hello. I can hardly hear you if you are talking. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello, Gideon. We can hear you.
Yes, please.
Let's
Good
know you.
evening.
Good evening,
Um,
Gideon.
I'm Gideon Adomens. I am a
Okay,
third year dental student at Quaye University, and
okay,
having I happen to chance on this platform, this invitation on Dr. Quay's LinkedIn post, and I decided to join to be informed expoundedly on how to communicate health more especially to the people I want to reach out to, especially when they don't understand the medical terms, and I really want them to get the basic idea so they can take action concerning their health. So I'm just here to expand my knowledge and see how I can put to action whatever knowledge I can get to help people in their healthcare myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Gideon. Thank you so much. And so, hope your expectations are met. Thank you. Thank you. Who else? Anyone else ready to introduce? Okay, I see Obojima. Yes, kindly unmute and then introduce yourself to us. We are eager to know you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I'm Mary Obojima. Um, I'm a
All
I'm a
right.
I'm a master's student at KUST. I'm studying economics. I'm
Amazing.
actually not in the health
The
sector,
health.
but I
Wow.
yes, I am also a part of RTC. But one of the reasons I'm so excited for concerning this meeting is because of late you hear a lot of fake news out there, and people communicate whatever they think is the truth concerning certain health issues. And even though it's a health related thing, I think being in this meeting personally would also help me communicate certain things um, effectively in my field as well. So even though I'm not in the health sector, I'll be able to take some cues here and also help my career as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Amazing. Indeed. See, even if you're a health professional and you're not taking good, you're not making good use of this opportunity, hey, even the non-health professionals are using this opportunity. See, it's one that shouldn't take light. And thank you, Jima. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you'll be able to learn and then apply this as well. You also want to know more about economics and all that. And so, yeah, I hope your expectations are met. Yes, so please, you can put your introductions in the chat box. Due to time, will not be able to take any more in person or by voice introduction. And so I want to know, for those of us who were in our first meeting with Miss Jemima, want to know what were your lessons? What were your big takeaways? What did you learn? How did you apply whatever you learned? And so this is also another opportunity if you were in the other meeting or you got the opportunity to listen to the program once more on YouTube or watch it on YouTube. You can tell us what were your takeaways, what were your lessons, so that we can refresh and then move on. Yes. So your lessons. So for me, I want to start. For me, what stood out for me is breaking out of my cage using cage. Yes, that acronym stuck with me so much. C standing for communication because we are our voice. And then appearance, we need to appear the way we want to be addressed. So our appearance also matters. And then G for our gravitas and E for our expertise. And so we can't decide that we want to communicate or become a public speaker and not be vested in whatever that we are trying to communicate. We need to read, read, and read. And that is where the confidence also comes from. And so I want to hear from one more person. I want to hear from one more person. What did you learn? I see Nurse Stevie raising up the hand. Yes, Mustafa Aisha says that mistakes is equal to learning. When you shut your mouth, you shut your destiny. So a mouth shut, the shut destiny. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes. So Asari Avita says that if we love our skill, it becomes an asset, and if we don't love it, it becomes a liability. Yes, that is true. That is true. And so you should love the skill you have. You should love the skill you have. It will become an asset. You could even be earning from it. Multiple streams of income, financial independence. It all depends on the skill you have. Okay. Okay. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, RTC family, tonight we are blessed. We are privileged. We are opportune, ladies and gentlemen. We have an amazing lady. She's a medical doctor and a public health advocate. She's a capacity building coach for health professionals. She's been doing this not only for once, she's been doing it over the years. She has witnessed how the lack of clear health communication and mentorship can limit both patients and professionals. That is why she's embarking on this journey. She's the founder of Med Transitions Ghana, where she supports early career doctors through often overlooked transition from medical school into practice. She's also the founder of Step Up Academy, where she trains health professionals to build bold brands on LinkedIn, speak with confidence, and create impactful health content. Ladies and gentlemen, through coaching, our speaker for tonight has helped many clients to find their voice and use it for impact. And that is exactly what she's going to do with us tonight. She has also helped them to build strong LinkedIn profiles, attract the right people and platforms, create meaningful, accurate health content that educates and empowers. She stepped onto local and global stages with boldness. To date, she has trained over 500 health professionals, mentoring many into roles as speakers, writers, brand voices, and public educators. She also leads preventive health drives, creates educational media through YouTube shows, advocates for better public health education in underserved communities in Ghana. In addition to advocacy and coaching, she's passionate about public health research, health systems, and strengthening. Ladies and gentlemen, no other person can help us be able to create health information, give talks, give presentations that do not only inform, but also transform. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, tonight, to help us be able to communicate health impactfully, we have Dr. Vanessa Quaye. And so with a round of reactions, let us welcome Dr. Vanessa. She's coming to help us understand, be able to communicate health impactfully. So with a round of reactions, ladies and gentlemen, aren't you excited? Aren't you excited? Yes, 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 yes. I can see the excitement. And so, Dr. Vanessa, we are ready for you. And so, take us
Thank
on.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
Enyonom. It's great to see you. Hello, everybody. Good evening to us all. I'm excited to be here today. If you are here, can I see some reactions to register your presence? Beautiful. I see you, Aisha. I see you, Adobia. Good to see you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's keep them coming. Great. That's a very long profile, but for the purpose of today's session, it's just Dr. Vanessa. And we're just going to have a talk with Dr. Vanessa. Okay? So I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to bond and gel with you. Unfortunately, I think it's raining at my end, but if you can hear me crystal clear, can you send a thumbs up so that I know that we are all on the same page? Can you hear me? Awesome. I see that I can be heard. That's great. Thank you so much, guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Vanessa. That's my lovely self smiling at you, or I hope you're flashing a smile back at me. And today we're just going to talk about something called Speak Health Clearly and Confidently. What I want to do to you today is to take you on a journey that makes you feel empowered, that makes you feel more educated, and that impacts you to impact others. To learn that because of the right words, spoken in the right way, you also can save lives. So today we'll be saving lives together in a small theater what RTC Foundation has put together. I just want to thank RTC Foundation for putting this together. Please let's give them a round of applause. They've been very amazing curating us here. It's not been easy. You know, they're not even charging anything for this training. And I believe this is very important in these times. So let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate Dr. Benedicta, Dr. Enyonam, and the whole team. I celebrate you for this impactful event and thank you for the opportunity as well. Awesome. So who is ready to speak health clearly and confidently? Good. I see Aisha says she's ready. Okay, Gideon says he's ready as well. If this is the first time you are in my session, you know that I love interaction, especially in teaching sessions. So you have to come along with me on this journey. Anytime I want to have a talk, I always start with something interesting, like an icebreaker. And growing up, I remember staying amongst people who used to play cards a lot. Okay. I joined these boys and they used to play this game. Tuntum Anakoko. How many of us know that game? Tuntum Anakoko. If it is brought some nostalgia that you remember the game Tuntum Anakoko, let me see by hand. Unless there are lots of Gen Zs out here. Okay, Elizabeth says she remembers. Justice says he remembers. I like that. Okay, Aisha Sue says she remembers. Awesome. So those of you who don't know Tuntum Anakoko, it's an interesting game. And all it means is that there is a deck of cards. We have those that are black in color and those that are red in color. And there's one person who starts the game who has all the cards. So you ask you whether you think the card he has is black or the card he has is red. If you're able to guess it, you win. If you're not able to guess it, you lose. In the same game, you want to play a game today. You want to play Tuntum Anakoko with a twist. Now, the game is like this. I have a list of case scenarios for you, and I want you to tell me whether it is going to be Tuntum and it's going to be Koko. What Tuntum means is that Tuntum means death. It means something that is dying. It means something that is static, something that there is no change for. And Koko means blood. It means life, okay? So I'll be reading a case scenarios for you. If you think that if nothing is done about it, if somebody doesn't voice out, there's going to be life. I want you to say red, or I want you to say Koko in the chat. But if you feel like if something is not done about it, and I'm going to voice out, then there's going to be dark. Then you say Tuntum in the chat box. Are we all on the same page? So let me give you an example. I will say something like this. A child is brushing his teeth and brushes only once a day. Tuntum Anakoko. If you feel like me telling the child to brush twice a day will give the child life or will save the child's life, you say Koko. But if you feel like me telling the child to brush will not do anything for the child, you say Tuntum. Please, if you understand, can I see a thumbs up? Beautiful, I like that. Okay. So the Tuntum and Koko means dead or alive, okay? So dead or alive means that the Tuntum is dead and the Koko is alive. So my very first question, let's see how many of us are going to be dead or alive. A girl is told that having painful periods is a sign of being possessed. So she's taken to a prayer camp instead of a hospital. Tuntum Anakoko. Do you think speaking up will help the child become alive, or keeping quiet will cost their life? Tuntum, okay, I see that. I like the way the boys are going. Go, you guys. So that's dead. Beautiful. Case scenario number 2. A man with clear signs of stroke is given herbal concoctions at home while the family prays for healing. Tuntum Anakoko. Guys. Tuntum, black, okay. Tuntum. Hey, the Tuntum is going, okay. All right, the third case scenario. Please, you guys, be relaxing for me. All right, the next one is this. A health worker tells new mothers that giving babies water before 6 months is natural and helps them sleep better. Guys, Tuntum Anakoko. Tuntum, okay, I see that Tuntum is going. Another Tuntum again. All right. Okay. The next one is this. A young man stops his HIV medications because a friend tells him, if you believe God, you're already healed. Faith is better than tablets. Tuntum Anakoko. Tuntum, it's how the chat box is buzzing with Tuntum for me. Guys, are you sure I cannot be Koko? Are you sure I will not give life to this person? Tuntum, all right. Okay. Very last for the night. Let's see if anyone gets a Koko tonight. A market woman takes painkillers daily for a constant headache, but never checks her BP because she feels she's fine. She's a known... Oh, let me just finish the question. You guys are doing problem of the day with me. I like the energy your boys bringing on. Tuntum Pro Max. Awesome. Why are we having this game? Why are we talking about Tuntum Anakoko? Why is it important for us to have a life or dead? What I want you to know is that a closed mouth is a lost life. There is a lot of power in your words. You may feel like I'm making these case scenarios up, but these are everyday scenarios in the lives of so many people that are in our community and that come to our consulting room. And each time we decide not to speak up, each time we take a stance to just be on the sidelines, to just be apathetic, then we are causing a lot of kokutuntums to reign in our community. We are causing a lot of people to die just by keeping our mouth shut. Today, I came to energize you. I came to encourage you. I came to inspire you to put behind the tuntum, to join me erase the black from the world's view and start giving life, and start giving blood, and start making cocoa become something that is so huge that can be achieved by a lot of people. Some of you may feel you are not in the capacity to do that, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to clear every black into a red. We are here to paint the lives of the world with the blood of right health communication. And so journey with me on this journey of not just making a dead or alive, but translating every dead into an alive. Know that you have the power. Know that your voice is the power. Know that your voice is unique, and we need you out there in the world. No matter how tall, no matter how soft, no matter how baritone it sounds, even melodious, everybody's voice is sweet in the ears of health. So, today, take charge of your voice. Be willing to be ready to communicate health impactfully. Let's make sure we make a melody in the lives of people by giving them the right health information. Who is ready to learn how to give the right health information through a melody of redness? Let me see by a love emoji. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. I love that. I really wish I could tell you the journey to health communication is easy. I wish I could tell you that every time somebody has a voice, that's the end of the show. But to be honest with you, your voice has a noise. What is noise? A noise is an unwanted sound. It's something that keeps echoing in our ears, whether we like it or not. Some of you may feel that, yes, I have the voice. But I want you to know today that your voice has a noise. There is something that is stopping it from reaching out there. There is something that is stopping it from saving a life. Tonight, we want to identify those noises and we want to cancel them out with the unique voice that we have. I'll be sharing with us a couple of the noise that we'll face in the journey of speaking powerfully or communicating well. And then I want to be able to teach you how to scale over those noises. The very first noise we'll talk about is the noise of knowledge without confidence. How many of us have ever been in a state where we feel that we have this noise? I think I have the knowledge. I think I know what I want to say, but it's so difficult for me to say so. If you've ever been in such a state, if you're on the WhatsApp group, I just want you to put a laugh emoji in the WhatsApp group. That you are in a state where I feel, yes, I think I may have the knowledge, but public speaking for me is so terrible. Public speaking for me is so difficult. I don't know how to handle it. Let's make some noise in our WhatsApp page and just put a laugh emoji there. I see you, Nana. Well done. I see you, Lutheran. Feel like, yes, I know my stuff. After I've been through health school, I have as a non-medic here, I've been through so much, learned so much, but if you give me that stage right now, it's going to be fireworks. If you ever have felt like that, if that noise is something that worries you, just send a laugh emoji to the page. Just send a laugh emoji to the page. Awesome. Now, the second noise that I want you to be able to realize when you start your journey of health speaking is the noise of connection. Maybe your skills are good. Maybe you have started speaking to people in public. But anytime you speak, it feels like it's boring. It feels like people are not understanding, people are not connecting. If you feel you're in such a state with a connection challenge, okay, I want you to put a hug emoji in the group. A hug emoji. The emoji with the hands, the yellow emoji with the hands. That another thing that you've noticed about you that can be very difficult for you is connecting with your audience, knowing how to say what to say, knowing how to engage with your audience. Maybe I feel I have the confidence. Maybe I feel I have the knowledge. Or maybe you don't even have any of the above. You just have a difficulty with connecting with your audience. Let's send the hug emoji to the page. I see quite a number of us are having that. Awesome. Now let's talk about the very third noise that we face when it comes to communicating health, which is simplification. You know, the medical world is a world of its own. It has its own unique knowledge, own unique language, and own unique expertise. It's so easy when you enter medical school and you have to learn all these words. But sometimes finding the exact right words to simplify those words can be difficult. If you've ever faced such a situation where you've struggled to really simplify your message so that someone will understand, you just want to put a writing emoji in the WhatsApp page that you are finding it difficult to even find a replacing word to make whatever you're sharing to your audience understandable. Or you're even a state where you want to learn more about how to simplify this health information. Just put a writing emoji in the WhatsApp page. I see Bene, I see Enyonam, I see Nana. I see emoji also showing. I see Gideon also sharing. Let's keep them coming. Now, this is a reflection. It's an introspection. I want to take a critical look at yourself and find your noise. You can never silence a noise if you cannot identify it. So let's identify it together. Simplification struggles. You don't know how to simplify your message. And finally, we have the noise of past disappointment. Maybe you've attempted public speaking before. One time you were called upstage to talk about health. It probably didn't go so well with you. And so now you're even afraid to take the next step. You attempted speaking to somebody about hypertension. You thought they understood, but then at the end of the day, they were laughing at you. You're even scared to try again. If you've ever had a past disappointment, that looks like it's stifling your journey for health communication. You want to share a blue emoji, a blue laugh emoji, just to honor Dr. Benedicta on the page. If you've ever had a past disappointment that you've spoken somewhere before, you didn't get the expected results that you wanted, and it feels like you are shrinking in. It feels like that's like you don't want to even try again. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Why am I making you become vulnerable? Why are we sharing the noise today in our class? The reason is simple. I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. Put it in the chat box that I am not alone. Can put it now. Let's go back. Let's come back to our main chat here on Zoom that I am not alone. It may feel like you are the only one who does not deserve to speak about health. You may feel like you are the only person who has issues connecting with the audience. It may feel like you are the only person who has issues simplifying health information. But today I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. No matter how loud the noise of knowledge without confidence sounds, no matter how loud the noise of connection challenges sound, no matter how loud the noise of issues with simplification sound, no matter how loud the noise of past disappointment sound, today know that your unique voice is greater than every noise. Your unique voice cancels out every noise. Your unique voice can stand the test of time. I want to encourage you that you can be that best and expert health communicator out there. I want to challenge you to know that your voice can save a life. Anytime you feel afraid, anytime you feel shy, remember this, that my voice can save a life. I want you to know this within the innermost part of your being. Because before you can be able to communicate effectively, your mindset has to shift. You must begin to believe that you can speak. You must begin to believe that you are capable of awesome and great health communication that saves life. Put in the chat box that my voice can save a life. Because it's true. No matter how shaky it is, no matter how unconvinced it can save a life. Know it today and know it well, because your voice can save a life. There is someone out there about to die. There is someone out there dying from bad information. There's someone out there dying from wrongful communication. Your voice, your person, your can save that life. I came to ginger you that your voice can save a life. I love that you guys are embracing this. And it's not just about knowing it can save a life. It's good to have that mindset. But how can we do that? How can we use our voice to save that life? How can we communicate health effectively to save that life? I've put together 6 major ways to touch on that. At the end of this class, I promise you that not only will you be saving a life, but you will be embracing your unique voice. Is anyone ready to save a life today? Beautiful. So how do we save a life with our voice? The very first thing I want you to know is communicate your words effectively. Learn to communicate your health messages with clarity. Learn to communicate your health messages with clarity. Now, how do you do that? How will you be able to speak not just words, but words that they understand? To be honest with you, it's not the words that you say to people that is communicated. It's how you make them feel. Your words are not as important as they understanding. If you've ever found yourself in a situation where you're speaking to somebody and it feels like the person is hearing gibberish, then you understand where I'm coming from. To be an effective health communicator, you need to be able to communicate health with clarity. Now, how do we do that? How do we ensure that we are communicating without confusion? We have to learn to simplify our medical text. Now, the medical language that we speak, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, no matter who you are, it is full of jargons. It's in a world of its own. So if you're giving a talk and imagine going to stand to market women saying that hypertension is a silent killer that causes left ventricular hypertrophy. If you are the market woman, will you listen to the person? How many of us will listen to the person here? And I'm giving you a lot of medical terms. I'm sure you only come for item 13, right? We don't want to do that. We want to be able to say what we are saying so that at the end of the day, whoever is listening to us can take home a good message. Remember that clarity is your responsibility and not the responsibility of your audience, okay? So learn to be able to communicate clearly. Now, what do I do? One, you have to be able to use analogies. Use analogies. I remember the very first time I was speaking on breast cancer, and I was teaching a group of my very first speaking engagement on breast cancer to some students. And there's a part of health I don't like, statistics. When they are telling you that 1 in 10,000, 10 in 5,000 people have this, it's so difficult for somebody to understand. So this is what I did. How many of us know the Bahamas here? How many of us would like to go on vacations to the Bahamas? School is stressing you, work is stressing you. I tell you I have a free ticket to the Bahamas. Who would like it? Okay, I see Gideon likes it. Patience also likes it. Our boy is running towards it. Beautiful. Awesome. So this is what I did. I put a picture of the Bahamas there, and I asked them the same question, that who would like to go to the Bahamas? And I had so many hands up. At the end of the day, I told them that the population of the Bahamas is equal to the number of people that have breast cancer in the world. And they were wild. That if I end up being on the Bahamas, it means I'm one of the 166,000 people who have breast cancer. Now, that analogy made more sense to them than me just saying statistics, than me just saying that, oh, 1 in 16,000 people have breast cancer. Okay. So one of the best ways to communicate clearly is to use analogies. And I picked this from the Bible. When Jesus came on earth, he was speaking in parables. He was speaking in ways that the people around could hear him and understand. So in the same vein, when you're speaking to an audience, ask yourself, what around you can you liken what you're sharing to? When you make that analogy, it becomes easier for them to understand. So for example, if you want to say hypertension, explain what hypertension is, you can just say that hypertension is like water moving through a narrow pipe. When it's blocked, it becomes the pressure builds up and then it bursts. So this is an analogy. A market woman will understand because she can use the tap. Okay. So always think about analogies. Another way that can help you to be able to simplify your text is look for the synonym or look for the simplest meaning for what you want to share. Imagine this. Instead of saying hypertension, what other simple meaning or synonym can I use? Anyone? High blood pressure. Beautiful. Instead of diabetes, what other simple synonym can I use? Anyone? High blood sugar. Beautiful. Instead of saying cerebrovascular accident, what other simple synonym can I use? Anyone? Stroke. Beautiful. All right. So anytime you think of all the big medical words, especially when you're putting together your script, when you're putting together what to say, it's always good to write it out. Just look out for all the medical terms and ask yourself, what word can I say to replace them? To make it easy for a child to understand, to make it easy for a 5-year-old to understand. That way, it's easier for you to communicate. Okay, so replace your medical terms with simple, easy English words. That way, it's clear, and that way, people will also be able to understand. So that's another way of communicating your terms clearly. Another thing I want you to note that can help people hear you clearly is to use stories. Now, if I ask here right now, how many people live in Accra? Can you show by emoji? A clapping reaction emoji if you live in Accra. Just send the clapping reaction emoji. Okay. Now, how many of us are in the Ashanti region? If you are in the Ashanti region, let me see by a thumbs up emoji. Ashanti region. Okay. Awesome. 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 How many of us are in any of the other? How many of us are guys here? If you're a guy here, you're a male here. I want to see by hand. By a celebration emoji. The confetti emoji. Okay, I see the guys. Shout out to the guys. How many of us are ladies here? Can I see by a love emoji? If you're a lady here, let's show the guys some love in the room. Awesome. Now, just by asking you to identify with something, I'm creating an experience, okay? Anytime you create an experience with your audience by sharing a story, by sharing something that you saw in the consulting room that relates, you let them find something called common ground. Common ground. Okay, so when you want to be able to communicate health effectively, learn to use stories, relatable case scenarios. Learn to be able to allow them to feel like you are feeling. That way, it becomes easier and clearer for them to understand your health message effectively. Don't assume that they already know. Okay? Don't go there wanting to read your medical school textbook or your nursing school textbook definitions for them. Don't go to public health events wanting to sound like they know it all. Think about them as your younger brother and sister. Think about them as people who do not know. Don't go using acronyms like PUD. Don't go using acronyms for them because you are the biggest person out there who is brainy. They don't really care about your titles. To be honest with you, your titles will attract your audience. Your titles will open the doors for you. But your content, the way you make them understand, will make you stay. Your title will attract your audience, but your content will make them stay. Your content will transform their lives. So think about content. Think about how you'll be able to let them appreciate and understand what you're saying over just looking pretty, over just appearing prim and proper. That way, health is communicated more effectively. The second way that you can make your voice save lives is to send accurate information. Accurate information. Evidence-based information. I find myself all around every time being shared a WhatsApp message about how lemon can cure cancer and how garlic can cure hypertension. How many of us have been seeing these funny health information going all around? Sometimes you ask yourself that, so this thing, is it really, really true? Who has ever come across a funny myth like that? Anybody to share? What funny myth did you hear? The last time somebody told me that Staph aureus infection causes STI, I was like, wow, beautiful, beautiful. Can anybody share with me any interesting funny myth you have heard? Or maybe you listened to some radio and somebody was passionately talking about a health condition and you were wondering about. Any volunteers? Okay, Gideon, I see that you said yes. Gideon, do you want to share with us what you heard? Or Robert or Isabella?
Yes, please.
Okay. Robert, let me hear you. What did you hear?
So I recently heard they said they will put breast milk on the eyes of the baby because they feel the baby's eye is becoming yellowish and all. So they believe that the breast milk can cure the jaundice in the eye or the yellowish in the eye.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen for that. That's an interesting one. Thank you for sharing. Can you imagine? People actually believe that breast milk on the eyes of baby can cure neonatal jaundice. And somebody is at home putting breast milk on the baby's eye. Kenyan Nam says that pills can reduce a hernia. Hey, are they putting the pill on the hernia or they are taking the medication for the hernia to vanish? Only God will know. A client once said that they could peel their fibroid out. That's also a very good one. I've actually heard that before too. There's just so much health misinformation around. And one of the very things you do not want to do as a health communicator is to add on to this misinformation. So what do you have to do? Always research what you're saying. The internet is full of advice, but the same internet also has accurate information. So before you go to that health talk, before you go and share knowledge, before you go and share an idea, make sure you have searched the right sources. check WHO, check CDC. If you can, read journals. Stay up to date with your information. Quite recently, I was having a class with my step up mentees, and I was telling them that imagine these two people. You are the patient here, guys. Tell me what you think. Somebody you're close to has diabetes, or imagine that you have diabetes and you go to a doctor at Kokomlemle. The only thing the doctor knows when it comes to taking care of diabetes is giving you a drug called metformin, which is what has been used for a very long time. But you have diabetes, you have hypertension, your kidneys are bad, it's not working. You've been drinking the metformin, you don't see any change. So you decide that, okay, let me come to airport clinic. You come to airport clinic and you see a very nice doctor like Dr. Benedicta. And then Dr. Benedicta listens to you. Because Dr. Benedicta, she reads, she goes online to journals and articles and stays up to date. And she tells you that, oh, there's a new medication in town. We can start it for a while. It is good for your BP. It is good for your kidneys. And that medication is, let me not just mention any brand name. She puts you on it and then after taking the medication, your sugars are dropping. Somebody who used to be having like high sugars of 22, 15, now your sugar is like 6, 7. If you were the person, will you continue at Kokomlemle or you go to Dr. Benedicta? Anyone? Gideon says Dr. Benedicta. Will anyone continue to Kokomlemle? Robert says Dr. Benedicta all the way. Go, Dr. Benedicta. Zita says Dr. Bene. Okay, Aisha says Dr. Bene. Why will you choose Dr. Benedicta? Anyone to share? They are the same two doctors. They are all taking care of your diabetes. Why will you choose Dr. Benedicta? I want to hear from somebody's voice. I heard from your very first lesson, we were told that we should be able to speak out. So anyone to share? Please, we are in a talking class, so please unmute and share with me. Why would you choose Dr. Benedicta? Okay, Gideon, let me hear from you.
Yes, please. Please, I will choose Dr. Benedicta because the evidence of her information shows with the result of my blood sugar levels, where there's the decrease in it. So I would rather want to go to her than somebody who, after using the drug, I'm still not getting an evidence to show for the effect of the drug. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good one. Elizabeth, let me hear from you. Why are you choosing Benedict?
Okay, I'll choose Dr. Benedicta because her medications are more effective than that of Kokomlele, and it's result oriented because I can see that the sugar levels are dropping and my kidneys are now functioning better per lab result, maybe. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing. Exactly. And the only difference between the doctor at Kokomlemle and Dr. Benedicta is that Dr. Benedicta was staying up to date. She was constantly reading. She was constantly using evidence-based information to give to her audience for them to get better. The same thing is happening to you. Anytime you see an audience, your audience is sick. The kind of information you give them can make them become better or less better. The world we live in alone is making them sicker. I can sit in the comfort of my home, type anything I want, and probably put a doctor under it and start circulating it around. And people will think that I'm the best. Someone will look at it and think that this is the best information out there. But it's up to you to go behind the scenes, to do the research. Sometimes you're not confident in yourself because you don't have enough expertise in what you have to share. So do the work. Sit on yourself and learn. Sit on yourself and research. I remember when I was told to come and make a presentation on antimicrobial resistance. I won't lie to you. There were some courses in the school that were not for me. And that topic, oh la la. I personally knew that I had knowledge about it, but it was residual. I was going to speak on a very large platform. I was going to be making discourse with a person. I needed more than medical school knowledge. I needed more than health school knowledge. more than nursing school knowledge. So I went to the appropriate places and I started reading. I went to look at journals. I went to get up-to-date information from trusted sources to be able to deliver. Just by abreasting my knowledge, I was more confident. I put it to you today that you are not confident because you do not have enough knowledge about the topic. You do not have enough knowledge about what you are so passionate about. Saturate yourself with knowledge and boost your confidence in speaking. Saturate yourself with knowledge and allow your unique voice to evolve. The more knowledge you have about what you're saying, the better and easier is it for you to speak it out. So, in all your building, build knowledge, build evidence based information from trusted sources like WHO, CDC, journals, PubMed, Up to Date, Medscape. I'm giving you examples so that you can go on your own anytime you are called to give a health talk, okay? To abreast yourself with knowledge. Then you build your confidence and stifle the noise. Now, the third thing we want to talk about to cancel out the noise and help you embrace your unique voice is to activate your emotional intelligence. To activate your emotional intelligence. There is an EQ component of every health speaker. And I describe it as the 3 E's of health communication. The 3 E's of health communication. The very first E is empathy. Empathy. Now, who can tell me what empathy is in their own words? What do you think empathy is?
Putting yourself in another person's place.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Liz. Putting yourself in another person's shoes. Beautiful. Rebecca, do you want to tell us something? What do you think empathy is?
Yes, I
Isabella?
also think that.
Okay, Rebecca, let me hear you.
Yes, putting yourself in someone's shoes, the same as was said earlier.
Okay, thank you. Please, nobody is allowed to repeat what has already been said. Isabella, let me hear from you. What do you think empathy is?
Okay, so I think empathy is understanding how someone feels.
Beautiful. Understanding how someone feels. And then the last one, Aisha, let me hear from you. What do you think empathy is?
She said my answer. So understanding and someone else's feeling, and just basically that.
Thank you for sharing. You guys are amazing. Now listen. It is very easy when you're talking to people in the audience, especially people from the community or churches, to feel judgmental in your speaking. It's very easy to feel like you are the God, you are the one with all the right answers, and you just want to speak facts and speak information. But to be able to communicate health effectively, you need to be able to speak to the hearts of men and not just their mind. Speak to their hearts and not just their heads. And you can only speak to their heart if you are able to allow yourself to feel like the way they feel, to think like the way they think, to understand like the way they understand. As you deliver your information, don't go trying to shame them. Don't go only looking out for their faults and judging them from doing things the way that they do. The example that was shared earlier, if you meet a mother who is putting breast milk on the eyes of the baby, don't go shouting at her. That doesn't communicate health effectively. You probably might say the right thing, but they will leave the scene with a feeling of dejection, of rejection, feeling like they are harming their baby more than helping. And so anytime you find yourself in an opportunity to share or save a life, be empathetic. Speak like you feel their pain. Appreciate their standpoint. Regard their feelings. That way, it will be easy for you to warm their hearts with your words and save their lives. If you only speak to their heads, you would hear change, but you never see it with your eyes. So remember to always be empathetic. Empathy is not an extra in your talk. It is essential as you speak. And the second E that you want to learn is engagement. Engagement. Being able to engage your audience. How do you engage? I keep saying stories, tell stories, share experiences, things you have seen people do, things you have seen people say. Paint pictures in their mind's view. Another thing that I do to also help engagement is to involve them in mind talk. So I'll ask for volunteers from them. That way they feel like it's not just a talk, but they are part of the conversation. Another way that I also allow people to be engaged or stay engaged before your talk, before sharing your idea, okay, ask them, what do you know about the health condition? What do you know about the health topic? When you do that and someone willingly volunteers to share something, ask the person to mention their name before. Okay, when they mention their name, then you can involve them in your talk by calling them out or citing examples with them. That way, they stay alert. Another way of staying engaged, and you can put them in groups. Healthy competition breeds engagement. So put them in groups and try and then let them outdo each other. Making sure that at particular points in your talk, maybe you are quizzing them, you are asking questions and seeing who is answering better. That is also another way to engage your audience. If you are in a group, if you are in a church, if you are in a community. Now, if you're giving a presentation virtually like I'm doing, there are different types of presentation. We have a keynote speaking presentation, a guest speaker type of presentation, a panelist type of presentation, and a training type of presentation. What I'm doing right now is a training. So you can actively see that I'm asking you questions, getting you involved, and bringing you along with me. If you find yourself in a very formal way, formal place where it doesn't seem like it's possible for you to be actively asking them questions and getting feedback, you can then put pauses within your write-up or your speech. You can also do well to re-echo what you said or say something that is funny to get them to come back, something that is light-hearted to bring the message home. But remember, stories always drive home the point. And instead of just lecturing, you can also make it more conversational. As much as possible, read the room. See the way the people are. Are they yawning? Are they fidgeting? Are they making noise? These are signs that you have to step up your game. Break, let them jump, let them sink, let them stretch, and bring them back home to where you already were. Okay? So these are good ways of engaging. Can also do something spontaneous. You can take money along, and then that's one person who volunteers with you. Trust me, it will wake everybody up. Right now, if I ask a question and I say somebody should get behind me, and then I give the person free airtime, I'm sure a lot of people will start responding to my conversation, right? So allow yourself to think wide, think freely, and allow yourself to shock them with the example that I just gave. Then the last E in emotional intelligence is being excellent. And excellence comes with practice. Practice, practice, practice. Someone put practice, practice, practice in the chat box. Practice, practice, practice. You can't pray your way into effective health communication. You can't think your way through effective health communication. You can envision your way all right, but it takes practice to be able to translate what you wish, what you dream for into reality. Give yourself room for practice. If you were a starter, write down what you say. Can write it how you say it. Then you break it down into smaller points to make it easier for you. Practice with a video recorder, practice with a mirror, practice with your family. Give yourself opportunities to do so. Avail yourself, volunteer. If you are in church and you are saying maybe this is neonatal awareness month, neonatal jaundice, tell your pastor you want to give a health talk on it. Give yourself the opportunity to volunteer. Find platforms. Ask people, ask groups. Put yourself out there. The more you practice, the more you learn about your voice, what works for you, what is good for you, and it makes it easier for you to communicate effectively. So be excellent by practicing, practicing, practicing. Okay? That way you be more effective as a health communicator and be more emotionally intelligent to harness your voice. Now, the next thing we'll be talking about to help you harness your voice is to have a sense of cultural literacy and sensitivity. Have a sense of the cultural or literacy and sensitivity. Every community is different. When we say culture, it's the way of life of a given people. The fact that you spoke about breast cancer in this church doesn't mean that it will translate to the same breast cancer in a market. I don't use the same approaches. Sometimes you have to speak their dialect. Sometimes you have to find someone there to translate for you. If you find that in their culture, there are some things they don't talk about, then don't go and be saying haram or taboos there. If you beat their culture, you beat the opportunity to effectively communicate because they feel that you disrespected them. So anytime you are told to give a talk somewhere, I want you to assess your audience on this culture scale. Ask the person who invited you, or ask the people around before you get there. What is the faith of the people? What do they believe in? Ask them, what food do they eat? Ask them, do they have any taboos? Are there any customs that they don't like? Do they go to church on Sunday or Wednesday? Do they hate women mingling with men? Do they hate talking about menstrual hygiene? Do they condone boys hearing about menstrual hygiene? Find out from them. What is their attitude? What is their behavior? Find out from them. What language do they speak? When you know the culture of your audience, it makes it easier for you to communicate health to them. Do the necessary research before the D-Day. Don't find yourself wanting. Because how you speak to a group of JHS students will be different from how you speak to university students. It might be the same topic, but different approaches. So do the research. Ask yourself, what is the culture of my audience? What do I need to be sensitive about? How can I better reach out to them? Did something happen to them that I can use as a footstool to grab their attention to listen? What do they believe in? All these questions will get you closer to becoming more culturally sensitive to your audience and communicating effectively to them. Now, the next thing you want to also learn to be able to do that is to learn how to communicate in a crisis mode. And this crisis mode is usually when you have to handle difficult questions. Some of you are afraid to talk about health because you're afraid that I won't be able to answer some of the questions they ask me. What do I do then? Simple. Be transparent. Be transparent. If it is something that you do not know about, let them know that you frankly do not have all the necessary information together, but you get back to them if you can. If you still do not know, especially if they ask you these questions like, does garlic cure hypertension? Does lemon juice cure this? Can also share with them that research hasn't yet proven that this statement is true. However, I believe That way, you are going to communicate your own clinical judgment, your own ideologies, and it won't sound like you are pushing them away. Don't shame anybody for asking you a difficult question. Don't insult or disregard or disrespect anybody for asking you a question you do not know about. Nobody is out to get you. If you do not know about it, it's an opportunity or avenue for you to learn. Next time when you go again to do a talk on that same topic, it becomes easier for you to communicate. So never shun someone who speaks with you on a topic or ask a question you don't understand. Another thing that can help you when you're communicating crisis or communicating things that are very difficult to people is to be empathetic. I already mentioned empathy. Let them know that you haven't told anyone else about it. It's just between you and them. You can also tell them to meet you behind the scenes to have the conversation or to further continue, especially if your answer isn't clear, so that the meeting isn't dragged. So these are very good, effective ways for handling difficult questions when it comes to health. But the hallmark of all this is that be transparent. Don't say you know something you do not, and don't go lying when it is not true. At the end of the day, this is what I want you to know, that your noise can be silenced. I want you to know that you have to communicate health effectively. How? Using analogies, using stories, replacing difficult terms, avoiding the thought that everybody knows what you know. I want you also to be able to come to terms with the idea that you are culturally sensitive to your audience. Come to terms with the idea that you are going to be able to speak effectively with a high emotional quotient. You are going to speak with empathy. You are going to engage them. At the end of the day, you're going to be excellent in your communication. And I also want you to leave here knowing that difficult questions cannot stop you. There is a way around them. By being transparent, by being honest, and at the same time providing evidence-based information. You have one voice. Use it to silence the power of your noise. You are one person. Your message will always matter to the world. You would always have one room, and the goal is not always to go viral, but to save lives. Leave this meeting with knowledge, with understanding, with inspiration, that with your one voice, with your one person, you walk into the right one rooms to make the right one change. Your platform matters, but your purpose matters more. I believe in you, that you are going to be a clear and confident and contagious health communicator who will not only speak hope, but speak lives in the life and world that we live in. This evening, I launch you into a world of effective communication. This evening, I launch you out of your fears into boldness. This evening, I launch you to higher purpose beyond your shyness. This evening, I launch you into a world where your noises are silenced. I look forward to seeing many of you joining the train to provide adequate health information at the right time, in the right way, for the right purposes. My name is Dr. Vanessa, and I'm so glad to be a part of this meeting to teach you how to effectively communicate health today. These are my lines. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Vanessa. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, guys. With a round of reactions. With a round of reactions. Wow, wow, wow. We are waiting for your questions. You can unmute and talk. Raise your hand and then you'll be called. Or you put it in the chat box so that we read and Dr. Vanessa can answer all your questions. This is your time. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Vanessa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So your questions, I'll allow about 30 seconds in waiting for questions from every one of you. Yes, so Miss Aisha says she has a question, and so Miss Aisha, kindly unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you so much, Doctor. I don't even know what to say. I'm so inspired by you. Thank you so much. So my question is, how do we handle aggressive people if we want to have a health talk? There are some people who want to use every opportunity to just condemn health professionals, and then they are so aggressive and then so mean. How do we handle such people?
Thank you so much, Aisha. Just a clarification. Are they the ones who invited you, or you were talking and then they came up?
Maybe you see, let me give an example. Maybe, okay, let's say someone gives birth, and then these old women try to feed the baby with water or other food. There's a need for exclusive breastfeeding till 6 months, and then you try to talk with them politely, and then someone at one corner telling you, oh, you should take this your non-far away, those kind of talks, and then they try to just condemn you, and then because they are old, you have to be the calm one, and it will be as if you are the wrong one and then they are rather the right ones. So how do we go about this? Thank you.
I feel you so much. I feel you. I remember when I was doing my ONG rotation, I had a case like that. So the man is a product of a woman who delivered vaginally like 9 babies. I think he's the ninth born or so. But his wife has had a previous CS, and she's in a state where she cannot give birth, like it's an emergency. We need to go again. And he doesn't want to understand why we want to go again, because his mother had done all vaginal births. The mother came there and at the same time wasn't understanding. It was a very aggressive situation. How do you handle it? First of all, aggression plus aggression equals confusion. You cannot communicate effective health in a confused state. You don't fight fire with fire. That is not health communication. So, your first response isn't to be aggressive. When you realize you've started communicating and you feel like you're getting angry inward you, I would advise that you step back a bit, go and breathe, and then come back to the scene or find a friend. This is what you do. Share your idea. Tell them what is right. You can't force your health down their throats. You can advise them. So you tell them, respect whatever the elderly person is saying, even though it is wrong. Share with them the reasons why what they are doing is wrong. Then have a conversation with them. Ask them why they think it is so. From the conversations that you have, the questions that you ask them, you would be able to find a common ground. Maybe they both believe in the child well-being. They probably would say that it worked for them in their time. Then you can also say that that's also worked before in our time. You can try and convince them, at least let us try in this time. What you want to do is you want to win their hearts. You don't want to force their minds. Okay? So try, use the right means by being very polite. Number 2, keep going over and over again, advising them, telling them the truth. If you can find evidence or pictures of people who have suffered from doing what they are doing, show it to them. Find a colleague to go along with you. Find someone they respect, they believe in, and talk to that person as well to see whether by the respect they have for the person, they can come down and let the right things to be done. But by no circumstance should you fight aggression with aggression, because aggression plus aggression equals confusion. One person will lose their eye, and I absolutely do not want it to be you. Okay, so be calm, redirect their arguments.
Oh my God.
That can help, but make sure that you are not also shouting back at them. You will lose them. Remember, you want to win their hearts and not force their minds. Aisha, have I been able to help you?
Yes, doctor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. And so while we wait for the next question, I think I also have a question. And so I want to ask Dr. Vanessa, how do you stay motivated and inspired to continue delivering health talks and promoting health education? Because at times there would be a lot of obstacles on the way. You could get people laughing at you, people trying to discourage you. And sometimes, even when you go out and talk to people, the reactions sometimes are not encouraging. So, how can you motivate yourself to continue doing what you know that is right to do to save a life?
That's a good question, Enyonam. And I actually have a diary with why I do what I do. So the first thing I'll tell you is that remember your one and the one. Remember your one and the one. I have come to learn a lot of principles on my journey. And what do I mean by the principle of the one and your one? Your one is that one particular person that made you start your health journey, if you have one. Did someone push you to start talking about health? One experience, the way someone's misinformation led to their doom. I have one like that, a patient I lost because he didn't understand what hypertension is and didn't want to take his medication. That experience scarred me and got me out there that I have to go out there to save that one more life. Okay, so he is my one. And then I remember the one. The one principle is like my whosoever principle. I'm not out there to save everybody. I'm not out there to communicate health to everybody. If you look at the masses, you get afraid, you feel frustrated, and you feel like nothing is working for you. So I learned from Jesus. And Jesus always used the one, the whosoever principle, that if he loses that one sheep, he's going out there to find it. That's the same mentality. I'm looking for one person to impact his health. I'm looking for one person to communicate that right information to save their lives. It may not be all the people who are sitting there playing dummy, or all the people who are in the markets that have been very cold to me, or those who look at my face and think I don't know how to speak Twi. Those who laugh at how bad my grammar is. It's not about them. What you are doing is sowing seeds. You might sow a seed today. Someone will water it. By the end of the day, it will germinate. Something will come out of it because you chose to look for that one you are going to impact their life. So always remember your one and the one. Another thing that helps me is that I remember my why. If you don't have a strong why, you would always falter on the journey of public education or public speaking or health education. And your why should be greater than you. Your why should be greater than your person, what you stand to gain. Your why should be impactful. So always have your why. Write it down. Why do you want to go out there to talk about health? If it's just for fame, I'm sorry to tell you that it will dwindle. You will lose the motivation. Find a tangible why, a why beyond your person. I always tell these people that your why power is greater than your willpower. And when your willpower cannot take you, your why power will carry you on. Always have a why. Sit down, think through. I want to start talking about health. Why? And let that why be for a greater impact. Okay? The more your why is for a greater impact, for somebody else, for something you are passionate about, something that you treasure, the easier it becomes for you to journey in the journey of public health education or communicating health effectively. So remember the one and your one. Remember your why power. The next thing you want to also do is feed your growth. Okay. Sometimes you feel like no one is watching, and I find those seasons that allow myself to learn more. Track your record. If somebody was blessed by something that you shared, somebody tells you that, oh, I saved my baby's life because I took the baby early because I remembered what you said. Document it, write it down. When the going gets tough, just read it. So document the track record of the testimonies of your talk. Document the people you have been able to impact. Write their stories down. Somebody who started checking his blood pressure because of you. Somebody who has started taking his medication because of something that you said. Somebody who now remembers what breast cancer is because you came to share. Write it down. Document it. These are good ways of celebrating your small wins. When the going gets tough, just go back and read over it, and you stay motivated. If you're able to do these three things, it would help. I won't lie to you, the journey is not easy, but the journey is rewarding. The journey is worthwhile. Remember your one, remember the one, remember your why, and stick a track record for your small gains. This is what I'll share with you and your num to help your journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vanessa. Thank you so much. Indeed, the journey may be difficult, but yes, it is worthwhile. Thank you so much. Please, any more questions? Any more questions? This is your time. Someone would say now or never. And so ask your question. Dr. Vanessa is here to answer all of them for us. And so in 30 seconds.
Ma'am, there are some hands up. I see like 3 hands up.
Okay, okay. All right, so Dr. Kafui. So I see Dr. Kafui, I see Robert Ado, and I see Mame. So we'll take questions from each of you, after which we'll bring our session to an end. So we'll start with Dr. Kafui. So Dr. Kafui, kindly unmute and then ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Enyonam, for the opportunity. Dr. Vanessa, thank you so much for this session. It was very helpful, very inspiring. So my question is a little bit on the controversial side. I often go for public speaking, yes, but I come across situations where I give public health education concerning child health. And so I come across situations whereby, whilst educating or trying to advocate for something to be changed, a situation to be changed to improve the child's health, you find people who are influencing the wrong situation, with a statement such as, "Oh, I did it for my child and nothing happened." And so what you are saying doesn't really come across as okay, even if what you are saying is backed by, um, you know, science, or probably, should I say, is evidence based. And some of these people personally I encountered, some include our own professionals as well, our own health professionals as well, who also tend to use childbearing as in like they did it for their kids and nothing happened, as an excuse in order to win these parents to their um win them into their good books per se, let me just say. So how do you, or how can you help in this situation? How can you help us to tackle it when it comes to something like that? Thank you.
Thank you too, Dr. Kafui. That's actually a very good question and a difficult one at that, seeing that it even involves some of our very own healthcare professionals. Now, the thing about these issues are that, especially when it comes to children, lots of people have their own parenting styles, their own grooming styles. And once they find a health professional who believes in that grooming style or parenting style, they think they have arrived. It becomes very difficult to convert someone who has been indoctrinated in a particular belief. And that's why I mentioned being very culturally sensitive. What do they believe already? What do they know already? You can't use a day to convince the person. It will take some time. But what I would advise you do in that situation is, if you know the healthcare professional personally, try and have a conversation with the person. Ask the person if you can also let the woman be privy to this second option available. Don't stop giving your information just because someone is also giving their information. It may feel like because the other person is giving the information, you should shut your mouth. But I remember I said that a shut mouth is a lost life. You want to be able to also state your piece, share what you have for them, advocate for the right situation, share people who are already doing what is being done. Try and convince them. Ask them what makes them think that what they are doing is right. If someone shared an experience of a child, let them understand that every child is different. Okay? Everyone's experience is not the same. Try and win them from the point where they have weaknesses, they have loopholes. Capitalize on those thought loopholes for your patient's relative. As well, if you can win the children to your side, so that's also not a bad idea. They can keep telling their mothers over and over again. But do not shame the healthcare professionals in the eyes of the relatives, which is something I don't advise. Let them know the information is wrong. Let them know that this is what you have for them, which is the right way. Keep telling them over and over again. Have a conversation with the other health professional as well. But don't give up on the situation. I can't tell you to go and report the people, because that person also come claiming that they are doing health information. Unless it's contradictory to ethics, you can involve a higher body or a higher organization. You can go with maybe the Pediatric Society, can go with bigger NGOs, so that they know that you are backed by people. They know that it is not just your word. Sometimes they feel like it's just you that is speaking, so they don't understand the gravity. But come with other people who have benefited from what you are saying. Come with bigger organizations, partner with them. All we are doing is to win their hearts, okay, and not force their minds. Let's try that method, and let's talk backstage on other ways we can work around misinformation, especially within our healthcare professionals, and see the way forward. I hope that will be okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Vanessa. And so, Robert Addo, kindly unmute and then ask your question.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity. I might say that I've really make a huge note down, so I'm really happy and glad that I've joined. My question is a bit similar to what Dr. Kafi has asked, but mine is in the context of you are at a place or a venue where there is a health information going on or there's a health talk going on. And then you realize that some of the information being given out to the public at that point is not accurate in terms of relevance and then evidence based or to current information. For example, you are at a place where you heard um, a health practitioner or the person giving the talk in a church that if you have low HB, you can mix tin tomatoes with Coke and take. And it's something that they have been doing for years. And so it's important and it's helping them. But based on your current knowledge and research, you realize that those things were actually a myth. There was no any iota of truth in that particular issue. How do you step in to be able to correct this information instantly so that the audience don't go home with the wrong information and begin to practice that? Then the second question is on, will you recommend that in the delivery of the head talk, people present with a rhetorical questions in them? Thank you.
Thank you too, Robert. So thank you so much for those questions. I think I'll start with the first and then we talk about the second. So the first question, there's something that you made. I would say that only correct in the moment if what they are saying is harmful, extremely harmful, or to the detriment of the health of the people. Okay. If it's not something that is going to kill instantaneously, you don't correct in the session. This is a diplomacy of right health communication. It is very wrong to banter as health care professionals at a public speaking event. You disrespect the health speaker, you disrespect the community, and it becomes difficult for them to trust. You might feel like you are saving the people's lives there and then, but it becomes for them to trust the health information. So what you do is, when there is a break, or if there is a break, request to speak with the health speaker privately. Let him know the evidence that you have. That nowadays, maybe the research said we don't do this again, we don't do that again. Listen to what he has to say. Will he agree with you? Would he say that, oh, that's true, okay, I'll make the correction myself? Anna, the health information. Anna, the healthcare provider. And after the break, you come back again and then speak. If he still has the same stance, you can ask a question, not shaming him, but bringing that opinion in the conversation. So you can ask a question that, so I read recently that this and this, we no longer used to mantle and this for that because of these reasons. And I believe, and I also read that this is more effective. I wanted to contribute it to the health information or the health session so that we know that currently these statistics are more outdated. People used to do it, but this is what we are doing now. That is, if you've spoken to him and he didn't agree, in a manner that does not disrespect him, but you sharing your opinion. Now, if you are unable to, at the same stance, speak to them, let the people that organize the session know. Okay, and let them have a short follow-up meeting for you and share your ideas. I was in a meeting like that when one speaker said that we should, for menstrual health pain, the cramps that females have, the person was saying that we should keep it, we shouldn't voice it out, we shouldn't tell anybody, we should be hard as ladies. Then when she left, the other speaker also came in and shared her opinion that she doesn't believe that if you are struggling with menstrual cramps, you not take a pain medication. A pain medication is meant to help you feel better. So she also let that option be made available and let the audience choose and know that it's okay to take a pain medication without undermining the first speaker, but letting that information be known. So let that information be known. don't undermine the health speaker except it is harmful. Like, it's very bad, it's dangerous. What the person is saying can kill. Like, the person is saying that you should drink pesticide. That one, you cannot sit in a meeting and say you're waiting for the person to correct themselves. That is harmful, that is detrimental. So that one, you have the opportunity of standing on the ethics of do no harm to be able to speak on the health communication matter. On the second question on rhetorics, I cannot appreciate if you meant to make a point. Can you give me an example of what you meant by can you say something rhetorically so that I can be able to address appropriately? Because it depends on the
Okay, please. So in terms of the rhetoric, like you rightly mentioned, the types of presentations that we have, that if you are a guest speaker, so I wanted to know which of them that, in case you are doing a presentation, which of them that it is appropriate to actually apply a rhetorical question in it.
Okay, so you can apply a rhetorical question at any point in time for your context. It depends on what you are sharing, leaving them something to ponder or think about. But remember, your audience is important. It's not just about your capacity or the type of speech you are giving, but your audience. If you are in a community where they don't understand so much about what a rhetorical question is, and you go and say it and they take it in the wrong light, you have miscommunicated. But if you're in a community of more elite people, maybe in people who are educated, maybe students, they understand what being rhetorical is in senior high schools, they'll be able to appreciate that you're pausing for emphasis, or you just want them to think about it, you can do so. Just make sure that you emphasize that it is a rhetorical question. You emphasize that you're not leading them to think in a wrong manner, but you're just wanting them to ponder over it, the likelihood of what happens. So always emphasize it is rhetorical, okay? But in any capacity that you are in, if you're a trainer, you can use a rhetorical question. If you are a keynote speaker, the main speaker for the event, usually these are formal people, you can also use a rhetorical question for emphasis. If you are a guest speaker, you're a group of speakers, you've been given a particular topic to come and talk about, you can use a rhetorical question in there. And if you're a panelist, maybe there's one topic and you've been chosen among other people to answer questions from the audience on, you can also use a rhetoric for emphasis on your topic. Robert, I hope you understand what I've shared.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Okay, thank you so much. And so for the last question for tonight, we have Mami. And so final question, yes. So Mami, kindly unmute and then ask your question.
Hello, Mami. Are you there? I'm not sure I'm hearing her. Is anyone hearing Mami?
No, please, I can't hear her either. Hello, Mami. Please, we can't hear you. You can type it in the chat box. If you're having any difficulties. Okay, so we are giving some time to Mami to be able to type her question so that Dr. Vanessa can answer that. While we wait, I'd like to inform all of us that tomorrow is day 4
and we'll be having Dr. Wynette with us. And so don't miss tomorrow's session for any reason. Hello, Mommy. I hope you are still typing. So don't miss tomorrow's session for any reason. Tell a friend, to call a friend, to remind another friend. Okay. And yes, appreciation posts. Don't forget, it's our little way of saying thank you to Dr. Vanessa. Let's make a post on all social media platforms and tag her. Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, all the social media platforms, and tag her as well. Share what you've learned and also use that opportunity to communicate health. Yes. And so I can't see any message from me. I don't know. Okay. So the question is up. Mommy says she wants to find out how who is not a health professional can simplify these medical terms to convey a message to their audience. Most of the times, you see these big medical terms online.
That's a good question, an
So
interesting one.
she as yeah.
It's like asking me how you can simplify a law term without and communicate the terms to an audience without anyone knowing about it. So you can, if you have a medical person friend, you can ask them, or any healthcare professional friend, you can ask them. So if maybe I see something that is in law I don't know, I just ask my friend, what is this? Or something in project management or something in finance or accounting, you can ask a friend. Number two, you can also use the internet to find out the meaning of the words, but at the right places. As much as possible, it's always better to have that clinical inclination, to have that medical backing from a person, or if possible, you've gone through the school yourself. But you can make use of AI tools as well. ChatGPT can simplify it for you, which is also an effective way of making your script. Those of you who want to learn how to use AI to improve health communication, it's a very good way of putting together scripts and things to say. So you can ask ChatGPT to also simplify it or explain the meaning for you. That's also another way to go if you don't have a friend to ask on. But don't heavily rely on ChatGPT again. Remember, it's an AI tool. It has the opportunity to make mistakes. Okay, so if you are in dire need, you've not been able to go to in maybe a medical school or anything, and you want health information, the best person is your healthcare professional, irrespective of the capacity. If you don't reach them, then you can check the AI tools and the internet for simplified way of understanding. Now remember, this does not replace your healthcare professional's advice. It's just for educational purposes. Does not replace your healthcare professional's advice. If your midwife tells you something that is not what the ChatGPT said or what the internet is saying, it's better to listen to your healthcare professional. If your nurse, if your doctor, if any healthcare professional helps, it's better than the other means, which is the ChatGPT and the internet for the simplified health term. Mommy, I hope I've been able to help out. You're warmly welcome, Mommy.
All right. Okay. All right. So thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Vanessa. Thank you, every one of you, for staying with us to this time and learning about how we can inform to transform. I would want to leave you with these words from Dr. Vanessa herself. She said, "A shut mouth is a lost life. Remember that your voice is your power and your voice is unique. And so go out there to inform, to transform. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow, same time, same venue. Bye, everybody."